everyone, welcome back to another video lecture of chemistry class. Today we are going to discuss about the new concept, that is crystal defects. So it's one of the important concept. So in the crystal defects, not all the crystals in general are always perfect due to some of the reason like thermodynamic reason or some other kind of reason. The crystals will show some of the defects or the imperfection. So it is basically um, due to the rapid coolingness or due to some other reasons. So the defects will arise in the crystals. So no crystal is a perfect crystal. So there will be some imperfection or defects in the crystal. So that we are going to study in this class. So coming to the crystal defects, any departure from the perfectly ordered arrangement of the constituent particles. So the constituent particles, you know that they are regularly arranged in a regular manner. So if there is any imperfection in the orderly arrangement of constituent particles, so such kind of imperfections we call it as crystal defects or imperfections. So these defects may arise due to heat absorbed by the crystals from the surroundings due to the presence of impurities in the crystals. There should be two reasons. One is because of the heat absorbed by the crystals from the surroundings or due to the impurities or impurity atom which is present in the crystals. So there are two types of defects. We have point defect and line defect. So coming to the point defect, so it is nothing but when the deviation or the irregularities exist from the ideal arrangement around a point. So around a point, when you take a crystal lattice, so this is, say for example, this is one point I've marked here. Around a point, if there is any defects arises, such kind of defect we call it as point defects, right? So coming to line defect, so in case of line defect, when the deviation of ideal arrangement exists in the entire row of lattice points. So when you take a lattice point, so it is a regular arrangement of lattice points at the lattice sites. So in that row or in that line of lattice sites, so if there is any deviation or some of the atoms are missing from its lattice site, then such defect we call it as line defect. So here you can see it should possess some atoms along this line, but these atoms are missing. So this kind of defect we call it as line defect, right? So in case of point defects, we'll discuss about the point defect. Point defects are being classified into three different types. You have stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, and then impurity defects. So coming to the stoichiometric defect. So in case of stoichiometric defect, so if imperfection in crystal are such that the ratio between the cation and anion remains the same as represented by the molecular formula. So that defect we call it as stoichiometric defect. So under stoichiometric defect, you have first one, that is interstitial defect, and second one you have vacancy defect. So stoichiometric defect, generally it is observed in non-ionic solids. So this is ionic solid, so it is not going to show stoichiometric defect. So stoichiometric defect is also observed in ionic solids. So that is Frenkel defect and then Schottky defect. So first we'll discuss about the stoichiometric defects in non-ionic solids. Okay, non-ionic solids are covalently bonded solids, right? First one is vacancy defect. As I told you, it's nothing but here in the crystal lattice there is a vacancy generated. So when in a crystal substance, some of the lattice sites are vacant. Okay, you can see here in the picture, some of the lattice sites are being vacant. The crystal is said to have a vacancy defect. So due to some of the reasons, the crystal lattice which is having the atoms in its lattice points or lattice sites. These atoms are missing from its lattice sites. So they create a vacancy or an empty place. So these are called as vacant, vacant spaces. So due to which the crystal will exhibit a vacancy defect. So this generally arises due to absorption of heat from the surrounding. So that is why it is also called as thermodynamic defect. Right. So it results in the decrease in the density. What is the consequence of vacancy defect? Generally asked. So the consequence is it results in the decrease in the density of the substance. So because of loss of atoms, molecules or ions from the lattice site, the density of the substance will decrease. That is a consequence of vacancy defect. Moving to the second type of defect, interstitial defect. The name itself says that when some of the extra constituent particles are present in the interstitial site, the crystal is said to have interstitial defect. So generally the normal crystal lattice looks like this. So if there is any extra atom, so observe this, there is an extra atom over here. That atom cannot go and occupy any of the lattice site because all the lattice sites are completely filled. Now it will occupy the interstitial sites. So that's why this defect is called as interstitial defect. So this result in the increase in the density of the substance. That is a consequence of interstitial defect. Two things. In case of vacancy defect, the density of the substance decreases. In case of interstitial defect, the density of the substance increases. Right. Move on to the next. Stoichiometric defect in ionic solids. So here, if in an ionic crystal, equal number of cations and anions are missing from their lattice sites so that the electrical neutrality is maintained, it is a vacancy defect. So consider if there is any positive ion and negative ion is regularly arranged in the lattice site, equal number of ions, that is one cation and one anion, is missing from the lattice site. So such kind of defect which arises due to which it is called as Schottky defect. Okay, it is a stoichiometric defect. Okay, so here you can see there is an example over here. Let us consider. So this positive ion and negative ion is arranged one after the other, right? There is a positive ion and negative ion, positive, negative. So similarly here also in the second row, right? So here you can see negative, positive, negative, positive. This negative ion is missing. So similarly here also a positive ion is missing. So equal number of cation and anion is missing from its lattice site. So such kind of defect we call it as Schottky defect. So what are the consequences of this Schottky defect? The consequence is the density of the crystal decreases. The first consequence is the density of the crystal decreases because of equal number of cations and anions are missing from its lattice site. Second thing is the stability decreases and the crystal is more prone to collapsing with increased number of such defects. Because in the lattice sites, the number of atoms, ions or the molecules are missing, so it is more prone to collapsing. Okay. So Schottky defect is found in highly ionic compounds. Okay. Generally you can see this kind of defect in highly ionic compounds. So entropy increases because of this missing ions. The randomness or the disorderness of the crystal lattice increases. That is, entropy increases. So lattice energy also decreases because ions are missing. So you require less number of energy or less amount of energy to break the molecules. So lattice energy decreases. Some of the example is NaCl, cesium chloride, KCl and AgBr. So silver bromide. Coming to second type of defect, that is Frenkel defect. So if any ion is missing from its lattice site, causing a vacancy or a hole, and it occupies the interstitial site, the electrical neutrality as well as the stoichiometry of the compound are maintained. So this type of defect is called as Frenkel defect. So same kind of picture here. Here, there is a positive ion is missing from its lattice site. You can see a positive ion is missing from its lattice site, and this positive ion is present in the interstitial site. It is not left the lattice site, but it is present in the interstitial site. So due to which the density of the substance remains the same, right? The consequence is the density of the crystal is not altered and the stability decreases because of missing the cation from its lattice site, and the lattice energy decreases and also entropy increases. So this kind of defect in the crystal system, especially in ionic compounds, call this defect as Frenkel defect. Okay, so that is the difference between Frenkel and Schottky defect. Frenkel defect and Schottky defect are important defects. Examples you can see all are ionic compounds, that is zinc sulfide, silver bromide, silver iodide, and silver chloride. Coming to non-stoichiometric defect. So in case of non-stoichiometric defect, if as a result of imperfections in the crystals, the ratio of cation to the anion becomes different from that of the indicated by the ideal chemical formula, the defect are called as non-stoichiometric defect. That is, the ratio of cation and the anion does not remain the same as indicated by the chemical formula. So such kind of defect is called as non-stoichiometric defect. So under non-stoichiometric defects, you have two types. One is metal excess defect, another one is metal deficiency defect. So first we will discuss about metal excess defect, then we'll go to the metal deficiency defect. So coming to metal excess defect. So in case of metal excess defect, there is one reason, that is metal excess defect due to anionic vacancies. So when you take a sodium chloride crystal and you heat this sodium chloride crystal in the presence of sodium vapors, some of the sites of this chlorine molecule is being replaced by the unpaired electrons. So it is due to the absence of anion from the lattice site, leaving a hole which is occupied by the electron to maintain the electrical neutrality. So this defect causes an excess of metal can be seen in this defect. You can see by leaving one chlorine atom, the metal, that is sodium atom, becomes more in number compared to the chlorine atoms, right? So that empty space or the empty or the hole is being occupied by the free electron. So this will create color to the compound, and this center where the unpaired electron is occupied by the anionic vacancies created is called as F center. In German, it is called as Farben center. So F center is nothing but holes occupied by electrons are called as F centers. It is also called as color center. Okay. So the greater the number of F centers in the crystal, the greater is the intensity of the color of the solid. And the solids are paramagnetic in nature due to F center. So what happens is the unpaired electron, when it absorbs the energy, it goes to the excited state. From the excited state, when it comes back to the ground state, the absorbed energy is given out in the form of light. So it will give a particular or a characteristic color to the compound. So that's why these electrons are important. So example is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, it will give yellow color when you impart this into flame. Similarly, potassium chloride gives violet color, lithium chloride gives pink color. So every crystal gives its own characteristic color when it is imparted into flame. So crystals showing Schottky defect also show this kind of defect. Okay, so it is kind of defect. So coming to next type of metal excess defect. So metal excess defect due to the presence of extra cations at the interstitial sites. So one example is zinc oxide. On heating this zinc oxide, what happens is it will loses the oxygen atoms in the lattice site. Now there is an excess of zinc in the crystal. When you heat the zinc oxide, it will loses its oxygen from its lattice site. So this will create a vacancy. So when oxygen is lost, it becomes more number of cations in the crystal lattice. More number of cations and less number of anions. So that's why it is called as a metal excess defect due to presence of extra cations. So it creates more number of cations and less number of anions. So the excess of Zn2 plus ions now move to the interstitial sites and the electrons to the neighboring interstitial site. So due to which defect arises in the crystal, that is called as metal excess defect due to the presence of extra cations at the interstitial site. So you can see in the picture the electrons occupying the interstitial sites over here. So this is the red color circle where it indicates the electrons occupying the interstitial sites. Next is metal deficiency defect. Coming to the metal deficiency defect, that is due to the cationic vacancies in the crystal lattice. So it is due to the absence of metal ions from its lattice site, and charge is balanced by ion having higher positive charge. So transition metal exhibit this type of defects. A typical example of this type is FeO. So the composition of FeO is compared to iron and oxygen. The percentage composition of iron is 95% and remaining 5% is oxygen. But the composition will vary between 93% of iron to 96% of iron. So this is a metal deficiency defect due to cations in the compound. Last one is impurity defect. So impurity defect is very simple defect. So here what happens is some of the impurity atoms will be present in the crystal lattice. So if a molten sodium chloride containing small quantity of strontium chloride is crystallized, some of the sodium ions are replaced by strontium 2 plus ions. You can see strontium 2 plus ions. So each strontium 2 plus ions replaces 2 sodium ions. It occupies the lattice site of one sodium ion and the other site remains vacant. So this is nothing but each strontium ions will replace 2 sodium ions. So it has replaced 2 sodium ions from its lattice site, and the charge of strontium is 2 plus. So one of the lattice sites it goes and occupies. So due to which an impurity atom is or could be seen in the lattice site. So that's why it is called as impurity defect. Okay, here strontium 2 plus is a impurity atom. Rest sodium Na plus and Cl minus are the normal atoms. Right. So next is magnetic properties. So the magnetic properties of different materials that we study in terms of their magnetic moments, which is basically arises due to the orbital motion and the spin motion of the electrons, right? So the electrons which revolve around the nucleus and also spin on its own axis, this will create a magnetic moment. So as you all know that electron is a charged particle, so its orbital motion produces a small magnetic field along the axis of rotation. So similarly, its spin motion also produces small magnetic field along the spin axis. Right, you can see here along the spin axis it can rotate. Around the nucleus also it is rotating. So because of which small magnetic field is produced. So as a magnetic field is a vector quantity, so the net magnetic moment of an electron may be represented in the form of an arrow. Okay, the net magnetic field is represented in the form of a arrow because it is a vector quantity. So thus, what we can say is the materials may be considered to contain a number of magnetic dipoles. So any materials they consider to be as containing a number of magnetic dipoles, similar to just like a bar magnet, which has a north pole and a south pole, right? So based on the behavior of the external magnetic field, based on how they behavior with the external magnetic field, the substances are divided into 5 different categories. So there is diamagnetic substance, paramagnetic substance, ferromagnetic substance, ferrimagnetic substance, antiferromagnetic substances. So now let us see one by one. So you can see the first, that is diamagnetic materials or the diamagnetic substance. So in order to show uh, diamagnetic property or diamagnetism, these substances which are weakly repelled by the magnetic field. So this property is shown only by some of the materials where the substance does not have any unpaired electrons or does not possess any unpaired electrons. So the magnetic moment possessed by these substances will be cancelled by each other. That is, one of the magnetic moment is upward, another will be downward. So upward, downward. So like this, the magnetic field will get cancelled with each other and they are weakly repelled by the external magnetic field, right? So this is about the diamagnetic materials. Example is NaCl, KCl, titanium dioxide, zinc oxide and water. Okay, and also benzene is also example. Right. So next is paramagnetic substance. So substances which are attracted by the external magnetic field due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Especially they have unpaired electrons in their atoms, ions or molecules. So when you apply the external magnetic field, so they are attracted by the external magnetic field. So due to which they possess paramagnetic substance. Why they show attract by the external magnetic field? It's because of the unpaired electrons present in the atoms, ions or molecules. So these lose their magnetic property when the external or the applied magnetic field is removed. So it is not a permanent property or the permanent magnetic property. So once the external magnetic field is removed, they will come back. Examples for this is oxygen, copper 2 plus, iron 2 plus and Fe3 plus. Right. Third one is ferromagnetic materials. So in case of ferromagnetic materials, these are substances which are strongly attracted by the magnetic field. So why? Because these substances contains domains of magnetism. All of them are oriented in the same direction. So they are oriented in the same direction. You can see all the domains are oriented in the same direction, same in the way how the external magnetic field is applied. Applying the external magnetic field, all are oriented in the same direction. So that's why these exhibit a strong magnetic moments, right? So they retain their magnetism even after the withdrawal of applied field. So the magnetic, even after the removal of the external magnetic field, they retain their magnetic property. Example is iron, cobalt and nickel. So they have large number of unpaired electrons. Fourth one is antiferromagnetic materials. So in case of antiferromagnetic substance, so it is due to the compensatory alignment of magnetic moments. So there is a net zero moment will be there. That is, one of the magnetic moment is upward, another will be downward. So due to which it will get cancelled with each other and the net magnetic moment is going to be zero. Example is manganese oxide, vanadium oxide and nickel oxide. So these are the examples. Fifth one is ferrimagnetic substances or ferrimagnetic materials. So it is due to the unequal number of alignments of moments in parallel and anti-parallel direction. So due to which ferromagnetic property will be exhibited by the substance. So that is, suppose equal number of parallel and anti-parallel domains are present. So due to which the ferromagnetic property or ferromagnetism will be exhibited by the substances. There is iron oxide and vanadium oxide. So here the substances which show ferromagnetism, on heating it becomes paramagnetism. So at high temperature the ferromagnetic substance will behave as paramagnetic substance, that is temperature dependent. So because of the temperature, it will, at high temperature ferromagnetic property will be lost and it will exhibit the paramagnetic property. So this is about it. Let's stop here. I'll continue in the next class. Thank you.